Well, let's speak to our correspondent Becky Cotterill.
Sky's Becky Cotterill.
Sky's Becky Cotterill reports.
It basically looks like a kind of lava waterfall into the ocean, and that is concerning.
They're walking across Kinder Scout. It's the highest point in the Peak District, and it's a symbolic site where 90 years ago a mass trespass took place.
Becky, these details just starting to emerge. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, this is a really significant development when we think about how Akram managed to get into the US. One of the biggest challenges facing this trust, like many others, is coming from A&E. People who put off seeing a doctor during the pandemic, now really sick. 57% of people surveyed think the Prime Minister and the Chancellor should now resign. And 75% think that Boris Johnson knowingly lied about breaking the rules. I'm in Bradford, which is seen as having the worst rail connections of any major UK city.
At the moment, there's a standoff between the police and the protesters. The protesters were outside the police precinct down the road. The police have been moving slowly forwards to try and push the protesters back.
This place was a fortress and a site of strategic political importance, one that's more recently been associated with political scandal. And it's been excellent for business, not just here, but for the rest of the town as well. Now, the Premier League has resisted a lot of the calls in this review. They want the FA to handle regulation. Clearly, the government disagrees and they are pushing ahead with these proposals. There's been a constant stream of people here coming together to pay their respects to Sarah Everard. And some that I've spoken to have said they came down because they saw those videos of people being arrested.
Let's go to Becky Cotterill first. She's at Trafalgar Square.
There are so many people gathered here, crowds and crowds of people, lots of cheering, chanting, Harry Maguire's name coming up a lot in the chants, and some colourful language about the Italians. As Joe Biden moves into the White House and becomes leader of the free world, he's taking over a deeply divided country, tackling a deadly virus. This structure behind me with the water flowing over it is called a weir. Now, when it was originally built in Victorian times, it didn't move. Now it does. And that's important because when there's a flood risk, there are airbags underneath which deflate to manage the water flow. This is a memorial for George Floyd, people laying flowers outside of the spot where he died. The residents here say they've never experienced a power cut like this, with such an impact on people's lives and livelihoods. And they're angry. They say the government and the electric companies needed to act far sooner to help them. The underlying crimes, for instance sexual assault, are already covered by existing law. But if a woman is targeted because of her sex or gender, it's recorded as a hate crime, the same as if someone was targeted because of their race or religion.
Let's speak to Becky Cotterill. She's in the newsroom for us this morning. Becky, just talk us through this research.
Yeah, this research found that a third of people who reported having COVID said they had symptoms lasting at least 12 weeks. These trees don't just capture emissions, they also attract songbirds that get rid of the insects that attack the crops, meaning there's no need for chemical pesticides. So planting here is efficient, sustainable, and it makes financial sense. Recent changes in US federal law mean that hemp is no longer classified as an illegal substance. But the FDA says it is illegal to put CBD in food or claim that it has a therapeutic benefit. So why are all these products allowed to appear in shops and online?